Hi there, welcome back, and we're going to look at where to start in terms of learning to read, teaching your child to read, what things you start at. And I've got 3 tips for you in terms of where you should start. So the first one is learn the alphabet. Now, if your child already knows the alphabet, fantastic. Make sure that they know what each letter looks like. So learn the correct names, A, B, C, not A, B, K, A, B, C, with pictures of uppercase and lowercase. Now, it's up to you to decide if you want to handwrite. There are definite advantages to you handwriting the alphabet as opposed to using print. And those are that the children will learn the correct shapes of the letters. So, for example, in just the letter A, if you were to type the letter A, it looks very different to how it would look if you were to write it. Or maybe I should say most people would write it. So handwrite, that would be my tip. It's not essential. A capital A, a small a capital B, a small b. They don't have to be on massive cards. Just handwrite them on a sheet of paper, maybe 1 on each line, or 2 on each line, so that they're spaced out and the child recognises that that's A and it's got 2 forms. And you can use the terms capital and small, or even uppercase, lowercase. Use these terms so that the child is used to those terms. Okay, that's my first tip. My second tip is practice rhyming. So in the last video I talked about poetry. I would get a whole lot of books that have rhymes in them. The 2 authors that come to mind are Dr. Seuss, which is just a rhyme a dozen. The rhymes are there all over the place. I'm thinking Sam I Am. I will not eat green eggs and ham. I will not eat them, Sam I Am. That was one of the books that we had when we were wee. And I'm also thinking Julia Donaldson. There's a different kind of poetry, but nevertheless, there are rhythms and rhymes there too. So that's what I would do. I would start with reading these books to your child, till they recognise the rhythms and the rhymes. And you can also play some games. A game that I've often played with children is I put a timer on and I give them 20 or 15 seconds, and they have to find 5 words that rhyme with whatever sound you choose. At is generally the easiest. They can get cat, hat, sat, mat, whatever. And as they get better, you become more sophisticated in your rhymes. Now, if you're thinking, I'm not going to remember how, thinking up words. Well, what you can do is you can get yourself a search engine and type in CVC words. So CVC stands for consonant, vowel, consonant. So words like cat, dog, they start with a consonant, they've got a vowel in the middle, and they end with a consonant. Those are CVC words, and they'll give you sounds that you can use for rhyming. And then you've got to list yourself in case you can think, I can't think of anything that rhymes with egg. That'll give you the words. And it also gives you an opportunity to help your child with vocabulary. Some words might come up that they've never heard of before. So you get an opportunity to say, well, do you know that word? No. You can explain what it means. So that would be my second tip. And my third tip, and this is maybe a wee bit harder, is to make sure that your child is pronouncing all his or her words correctly. Now, the biggest area where I see problems is between th and f. I'll give you an example. A child once came to me and said, I think that person's deaf. And the reason the child said that was because they thought that th and th were exactly the same sound, and that f was slang and th was proper. And so she came to me and she said that because she thought that death was the proper way of saying deaf, not realising that death and deaf are 2 different words with very different meanings. So listen to where your child is making mistakes, and that includes things like missing out syllables in the middle of words, missing out sounds or sounds, whatever, and correcting them. Now, you don't have to be annoyed or angry, but you just say it's pronounced and say the correct pronunciation and get them to say it too. And if your child is having difficulty saying th, tell them where to put their tongue. You make the sound th. You think, well, okay, this is where my tongue is. You show them th, and they'll be able to make the word. And a good word to practice is the word thief, because thief begins with th and ends with th. Thief. And they're saying the two sounds in the one word, or if it's easier, theft. It doesn't really matter because it's the same skill that's used in both of them. And just practice that. And the reason that that's really important, that these things, that the rhymes and the correct pronunciation are important, is because learning to read and sounds are extremely closely linked. So if your child is not making the correct sounds, it will be harder, not impossible, but harder to learn to read. So that's something that you can start on right now. It's low pressure. Reading stories to your child is fun. You can go to the library. There are hundreds of books that you can pick from. A lot of them will be maybe things from your own childhood, and you can have these, oh, I remember reading this, or I remember when my mum read this to me. You can have that moment, and you can enjoy the story, and you can, make it come alive for your child. Lots of fun to be had there. So that's all I'm going to do today. We're going to take this in chunks so that you're not overwhelmed, and we'll come back next time with some more tips on how you can help your child to read. Okay, thanks for now, and see you again soon. Bye.